Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What is up, interwebs? Welcome to lucky episode 13 of AFTERBUZZ TV's Face-Off Wrap-Up Movie Magic Part 1.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I assume.
Twist! Twist! There's 25 more episodes. Yay! I am your host, Alana Jordan. You can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan. And today I am joined by an amazing panel of people.
Including me, Emma Fyffe. You can find me all over the internet at Emma Fyffe.
And me, Lauren Salaun. You can find me everywhere at Lauren Salaun.
And I'm Alexis Torres. I'm DJing now, guys.
Yeah.
DJ Alexis
DJ
Torres.
Torres.
What up? I'm a terror and I'm Torres. You can find me all over. I know, right? You can find me all over social media as atorres890.
And you can tweet us your comments using that hashtag ABTVFaceoff. By the way, if you haven't done so already, go ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch us on there. We're pretty fun. We're pretty fun. We have hundreds of shows for you guys to check out. We're also on iTunes, SoundCloud, so rate, subscribe, give us those thumbs up, and send us some comments, because we want to hear what you guys think. We had lots of opinions about this episode.
Yes.
This episode was an intense challenge.
It's really interesting to go into this week's after show without an ending. You know what I mean? Because every episode, even the one where they didn't actually eliminate somebody in the end, they still announced the winner in the end of episode 100. It is so rare to go into an episode of Face Off and not have a winner or a loser to talk about. Yeah. I think the last time this happened was episode 1 of season 8. Because in season 9, no, there was no winner in the end. Yeah. They had intended for there to be a winner or for somebody to be eliminated, but they went, we maybe went a little crazy with this challenge. Yeah. And so ultimately nobody was eliminated, but you still were seeing finished makeups at the end of the episode, and that was not the case.
Yeah, it felt really weird. I was like, wait a second. Wait, it's over already? They're showing us, like, what to expect next week? This is not right.
Right. But I have to say, with how fast we think that the time went, I can't even imagine for the makeup artist that they're like, hey, guess what? You're making a movie, and you have the same amount of time that you usually do. Go.
Yeah, that's what killed me the most was I was like, oh, maybe they'll give them more time because... it's a movie. And it's like, nope, deal with it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But it was really cool because these artists were down to the final 3. They've been sequestered from their family and friends for months, which, has to take its toll. And now they get to have a little Skype date. And
Ben.
I love it. Yes, because we get to see and typically on Face Off every season when they have you get to talk to your family, your friends. It's, this is my mom, or this is my husband, or, my daughter.
My girlfriend.
Ben had his dog.
He's hilarious.
Quincy. I was like, Ben, if I have not loved you
that
before.
Was so funny.
My love for you just is limitless right now.
There's my friend, and then she's got my guy, Quincy. I just love that guy, man.
I love that.
Nicole gets Ben of him.
Yeah. He's like, Nicole
gets the coolest.
I know. It was very clear that Ben's love of the dog trumps his love of any human.
Yeah, Nicole was just there to make sure the dog stayed in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Because he didn't go, oh, my friend Nicole, he walks at Quincy.
Nicole's there with my dog. Yeah. He's like, he just gets me, man.
Yeah.
I love how he said that. He just gets me, man. I'm like, and Nicole's sitting there
adorable.
dog sitting and house sitting. She's just cool.
Yeah. So, Ben, when are the shirts of Quincy and the underwear?
I bet you
exactly, Ben. You should add some Quincy to your store.
I bet you he has one.
Not that yours aren't amazing.
I love it.
I know. By the way, if you have been following all of Ben's amazing marketing materials that he has, his t-shirt and all of his things. He made one for the creepy uncle that we love so much.
no.
And now there is creepy uncle t-shirts that you can wear with your Ben undies. So
Ben, you're an awesome person. I will not purchase that. It will be a thing of my nightmares, and I'm not doing it.
And we see,
man.
Evan gets to see his dad and his girlfriend, and Nora
Oh my
just
God.
like making me tear up with her adorableness. Talking to her girlfriend, but
I know, and Nora's girlfriend is so cute.
so cute. Yeah, I love them. I love them all. And so it was basically, if you didn't already love the top 3, which
Yep.
if you don't, what's wrong with you? These guys are amazing. And it's just awesome to get to see.
Yeah,
kind of
I
more-
actually, so earlier today, Mackenzie had tweeted out, who's ready for tonight's finale part 1? And I tweeted back at her, I was like, I actually don't think I am emotionally ready because like I've loved all of the contestants this season. There hasn't been anybody that I feel like is getting undeserved attention or praise this season. And it's really, and everybody seems like genuinely decent human beings.
Yeah.
And so I tweeted her, I was like, I'm not really emotionally ready. I kind of love everyone. And Mackenzie tweeted back at me too.
I love that we don't have to say goodbye to anyone yet
No, not
because
yet.
it's just part 1.
Not yet.
So this was
But I'm not ready for a second.
this was the calm before the storm. It was like the eye of the tornado was, oh, it's warm, happy feelings, and we're bringing back some of your favorites
I know, it's
to
like
be on teams.
easing us into it by bringing back some familiar faces.
Yes.
Like a big little reunion.
In true face-off form, next week I feel will just be like, just rip the rug out from under us, and we're just sobbing the
They
whole
like
time.
eliminate the returning contestants. Like, no, you didn't help out enough. Gone. Just kidding. They wouldn't
Done.
do that.
Not scolding fast enough, come on.
Get it together. Kevin cut his hair though. That made me a little
know.
sad. I
I was like,
his
whoa.
hair.
I didn't even know who that was that walked in there. I was like, who's that? And they're like, oh, I want Kevin.
Trying to keep things in the box.
Yeah, I was like, I don't like toned down Kevin. I like
Turned up
full-fledged,
Kevin?
100% crank it to 10 Kevin.
Outside the box.
Yeah, but it was really cool getting to see for this challenge. This is such an unusual challenge for the show that I think should have been done so many seasons before.
Yeah,
this.
I agree. Well, because it was much more like being an actual part of a crew working on producing a film, which is typically what makeup artists are in the market for.
And this was exactly that.
Yeah.
It's the first time we've gotten to see them make something. We always talk about the cinematic quality.
Yeah.
Well, now we get to see it in actual
I feel
cinema lighting and as a real movie.
I mean, I feel like not to like sit there and actually have like the same challenge every single time, but I feel like this should be a actual challenge that happens every season.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing is, I, as a viewer, and this is impossible because it's a television show, I really wanted to see what these makeups looked like off camera.
Yeah.
And there's just simply no way to emulate that because it really does appear like makeups, people, everything in general just appears so different on camera than it does to the naked eye.
Yep.
Right.
That's why sometimes even on this show we'll have 2 pictures of the same makeup and it'll look super orangey in one and then very like toned down flesh color in the other, and it's just so dependent on the light.
Yeah,
So
completely.
I mean, even when they just show us the close-ups at the end, the transformations when they're going into the judging, you know, the morph from the model's face to the makeup, like that lighting is so different than how we see
Yeah.
it leading up to that point and how we see it on the stage. So,
which is why I
all
think this challenge
tricky.
is really the most accurate for these artists who are so immensely talented. It's obvious that every single one of these artists is going to move forward in cinema and is going to be having their makeups all over the place.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
who
which
was
is,
it that said while they were going through the process, I think it was Jordan maybe, he's like, we're doing this so that we can do this every day, man.
I know.
I love it.
This is the dream.
It's so cool. It's so cool to see these artists have their dreams come to life and we get to be the spectators without any of the stress that goes with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I go through some stress just
I
watching
get
them.
stressed
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ugh, heart attack.
Just kind of anxiety by association.
Yeah.
Where I'm watching and I'm like, I love you guys. I just wanted to turn out.
Oh, the
Yeah.
edges. Oh, the edges.
Well, it's like,
You have an
it's like-
hour
I was
to
gonna
paint.
say,
Oh, God.
Well, it was like in this episode, Ben only had an hour to do all of the painting, and also Evan had that terrible crack in his mold. That was
that
so
just gives you a
deep.
crack in your heart.
I know,
every time it happens.
and I'm just envisioning like a cowl that comes out and just has like this jet, because like
a
when the
whole
mold, I was
line.
gonna say because when the mold cracks, basically whatever material you pour into it is gonna seep into that crack, so you're gonna have to cut that all out. I was having visions of a monster that just had like a little bump sticking out all
it's
along the way.
extreme seeming. It's exceeming.
Yeah, exceeming.
You're welcome.
And not in a place that there should be a seam. Like, because there's always a seam between the front and the back because you do them in two pieces, but there shouldn't be a seam like in the middle.
No. But it was awesome because they get a real director, a real crew, and they get to have a makeup test. So this was our precursor to what we will see for the actual finale, which also fittingly gives us a little bit more behind the scenes look at what the finale is going to be, which is also very unique for the show up until this point. We haven't seen that in previous seasons. So they each have 3 scripts in front of them, and it's going to be directed by somebody who's worked on Stargate, 300 Rise of the Empire, Batman versus Superman. You start hearing these words and you go,
What?
I know, right? So Patrick Tatopoulos, I believe.
Yes.
Patrick Tatopoulos.
Greek name, but he's
Super French.
French.
Yeah, I was like, I'm confused, guys. I don't know what he is.
Awesome. That's all you have to know.
I mean, his accent is fantastic, and I just thought it was very interesting that Face Off was like, we have to use subtitles.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I was like trying to do, and I was like, don't do it. But no, I remember seeing him he guest starred a lot, and he was guest judging for a little bit as well, so it's kind of nice. And also, it doesn't hurt that Mackenzie's married.
That's actually the reason that this is a 14-episode season, shorter than all of the other ones, is because Mackenzie had to snag that man away from set so that they could go get hitched.
And
so,
they did.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Mackenzie.
very recently, this past weekend.
Yeah, it's on October 11th.
Yeah.
And if you follow her on Instagram, as we do,
As we all
you'll see, surprise, surprise, her dress was gorgeous.
So cool. It's like elegant, but then really has some modern flair to it too, and very unique.
Yep.
I think they need to have a spin-off show that's Project Runway, since it's been officially announced that it's canceled, where it's just called Make Mackenzie's Dress.
Yes.
And they have to make the dress for Mackenzie and
And
Mackenzie.
We're doing after
And we
show
did
here.
after for that, and Mackenzie can be like the Heidi Klum of it also.
Yes.
So it's like she like sees models wearing dresses for her, and then she decides which one she wants
I
to
don't
wear.
like the feel of that fabric. No, wrong.
But Mackenzie's so nice.
I know.
Like she would not be a
She'll be
great
like, I
judge.
like all of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that would be the end of the show. It's just Mackenzie being like, oh, they're all pretty. Good job.
Cue theme song.
Twist, I want pants.
The script has
You have
changed.
2 hours. Go.
So they end up grabbing each of their scripts. They have 3 different scripts, and they have to create 2 of the main characters from the script and have to incorporate Patrick's feedback, obviously, as real makeup artists do on set. You have to have the director's feedback, but also create your own vision that's true to what the writer has put down. So they have, just based off of titles, they have to pick which script they want. Kevin grabs Quarantine Zone, which you can imagine is going to have some sort of boils or be some sort of infection. And also picks for his team Kevin and Stevie, which makes it the only multi-gender team.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the other 2 are boys versus girls.
Yep.
Nora with the Prey and has Jasmine and Meg.
Which I was so excited and kind of predicted that they were gonna be
Yeah.
together. And I saw them all in a group.
I was just really, really happy to see Jasmine back because she's one contestant who I feel really went home too early. It was one of those things that was really, really frustrating when she got eliminated, that I was like, but she's been in the top or the winner every week. What are you doing? Like, and then they're just like, nope, goodbye, Jasmine. So that was one where I really wanted them to take her full body of work into consideration. And so I think Jasmine is such a strong choice as a teammate because she's so talented, and I think that her talents were a little underappreciated.
That was the biggest upset of the season, I think, for me, was when Jasmine went home, because I was just like, what?
Scandal.
What is happening?
But I'm also really happy to see Meg because I missed her bubbly personality, skipping around and jumping around.
And I do have to say, shout out to Jasmine. Congratulations. One of our friends, Kyle Roberts, is a director and has a brand new film coming out called The Man Who Laughed. And because of seeing her amazing work on Face Off, called her up, and now she is officially hired as their lead makeup artist for that film. So we already know, regardless of who wins, she's already making a movie. So go, Jasmine!
Yay! Now let me ask you, just before we go way off topic, is this based on The Man Who Laughed, the classic horror film from Universal Studios, The Man Who Laughed?
You know, I'm not sure.
Oh, well, if anybody is curious, that film created the character that the Joker in Batman is loosely based off of.
Yep.
That was what I was thinking.
Yep.
All right.
Dropping some knowledge.
Yeah.
Boom. Also, there's an Iron Maiden in that film, and just so you know, an Iron Maiden is not a real medieval torture device. It wasn't invented until the 1800s. It is a theatrical device.
But it is a
drop it.
real awesome metal band. So that is not a lie. Don't
I thought you
worry.
were going to bring that one up, and I was like, wait, what?
If you bought their album, don't worry. It will play.
It's for real.
You weren't ripped off. Ben gets Resurrection and has Jordan and Scott on his team, which I feel like these teams were just perfectly
I just felt
chosen.
like when Ben picked this team, I just kind of thought, how can they lose?
I mean, you're right on
Because
that one.
Scott and Jordan are so strong.
Yeah. Well, everybody is. Everyone
Yeah.
that they brought back, it's like, that's It's like the opposite of my middle school PE experience, where they were going to pick teams, and they were like, "You're all awful. I don't know what to do. You're bad
Can I
at
just be by
everything."
myself? I think I'll win better if I'm by myself. That was not my PE experience.
Mine was just hiding in the bathroom, trying not to have to do any physical activity. So they break into their teams, they're given the script, and they read their general descriptions and things, and they start coming up with these ideas. But it's kind of neat because then they get to have Patrick come in and be the Michael Westmore of the lab for this one, where he gets to come in and say really not only what he's liking about the makeup, but more the cinematic aspects of this is how it's going to be lit, these are the lighting points that we're going to use.
Right.
So the artists really know, because for Ben especially, his is a very sci-fi creature where it's an alien priest that's resurrecting kind of 1,000-year-old former incarnation of what this alien race has evolved into. So very sci-fi, and I love that he mentioned normally sci-fi we see a lot of blues in the lighting, and he went a totally different direction in his director's viewpoint and wants very, at nighttime with fire, very amber lights. And so I love that they take that into consideration, and they really want to make sure that the color is going to reflect. But I already know what you're giggling at.
I just love when Patrick Totopoulos was like, fire is going to be your main source of light. I was like, really?
Oh, when I heard that line, the first thing I did was look straight at Emma's face because I saw.
But
and I was like, yeah.
because they're thinking color wheel, and they're thinking what are going to be complementary colors, so they bring in a lot of the greens so that the ambers will reflect well with the greens. It'll be a good combination. Things that, I don't think about in my normal day-to-day life.
Sure.
That poor model in all that makeup.
Oh, I know.
Fire.
Yeah.
I know, right? And they're like, also, it's going to be fire, so don't have it melt off of your body.
Yeah.
Good luck not sweating it off.
I imagine it's like LED fire, I hope,
Right,
and not
Actual
actual
fire. It looked like actual
movie.
fire to me.
It could be.
Actual fire, just because it's face off.
My favorite line of the whole episode was, do you think it's unreasonable for an alien to have nipples?
Yep.
And the first thing I thought of was George Clooney's bat
Nipples.
nips. And I was like, well, I mean, if Batman could have them, I mean, why not?
Dudes have nipples.
Yeah. I'm like,
What do they use those for? Not a lot.
milked. That's for sure.
Little unclear.
So, tweet us, gentlemen. What do you use your... No, don't.
do that.
Don't do that.
We don't want to know.
Don't do that.
That's all you.
Just kidding.
So they have all
mercy.
these challenges for this one, not being able to paint the makeup until last looks. You think this is going to be just an impossible task. And Ben, of course, Jordan and Scott just all knocking out of the park. Yeah. They have very cohesive ideas, which work really well. And the two characters, it looks like you can see they use the anatomy of the evolution of the character. So it really looks like a Neanderthal version of this alien creature.
Yeah, it definitely did.
And it was just really cool. I mean, I know that there were some issues when they were looking at it that it looked a little cartoony on when they saw the actual light, that the eyes were a little too dark. The light wasn't really reading the way that it did in the lab. So they have to tweak some more stuff. The main thing being that they say, okay, turn around, and half the back is not actually done.
I love how all of our faces were like, oh god.
But I love that Patrick, you can tell he's a good director, because instead of being like, get it together, it's like, we are going to see that in the shot, so just make sure that that's completed.
He's so nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Which is awesome, because, Ben's going, oh, okay, like, we'll just both pretend like it was because we weren't sure if it was going to be in the shot or not. I ran out of time, obviously.
Right.
I was nervous about the back when we were seeing them sculpting it and putting it onto the model, just because it looked so like just scraps thrown on there,
It looked a little rough, but doing a 360 makeup that you also have to know is going to be in different light, doing two of them, heavy prosthetics.
And both of these characters had a lot of prosthetics on them, because he was literally supposed to be creating aliens.
Yeah.
So it made sense for them to do an awful lot of prosthetic work.
Yeah.
Yes, but it was very good for them that they get the second chance, and that was the screen test instead of the actual final.
Well, and the good thing is it was more like, okay, these are some elements you need to tweak and you need to add some stuff here. It wasn't like, this isn't working, you need to completely redo it.
Yeah, which brings us, unfortunately, to Evan, that was pretty much his entire scenario. Yeah. Ben, they just, the little finish this, do some work around the mouth for the priest, maybe add some teeth. Evan didn't really read the way that he wanted it to, but he was struggling from the beginning.
He was.
Scrapped everything and started over, and even said, it's not a cohesive look, but it's hard to give guidance to my team when I'm not even sure what my true vision is.
Yeah, and that, I think, is what we were seeing with Evan, as you say, throughout this episode, where he wasn't super confident and sure what he wanted to do, and so ultimately he couldn't really delegate.
Right.
That, I think, is his biggest hindrance, because we even see when they're in last looks and Kevin's adding the grease paint and goes, oh, is it okay, if I add this? And he's like, I'd rather you not, after he's already done it a little bit and said, oh, this is too busy, this isn't working. But you could tell it was kind of frustrating, I think, for his team, because they want to give him what his vision is, but they're not quite sure what it is, because he's not quite sure what it is. So he's got a lot to do on both his Wanderer character and the captive.
Yeah.
They bring out the Wanderer first and just kind of say, this wardrobe isn't working. If it's supposed to be a desert scape, why is she in
wearing camouflage, yeah.
She's in this dark, she looks very military and not very sickly. She looks very healthy still.
Yeah, she looks too healthy.
And he's like, okay, that was a lot of feedback. I just hope that he really likes the next one. And then the next one comes out and he's like, oh, nope, none of this.
Yeah.
That was perfect Patrick imitation. He's not nothing like that. He was very
No, it was interesting, this whole concept of, basically that there was a virus that was infecting people, and how the guy was supposed to be in a very advanced stage of it and the girl was supposed to be in a not very advanced stage, and I don't know, it sort of reminded me of, like, I don't know if any of you guys played Dead Rising 2, but like in it, like, people are infected with the zombie virus basically, but there is a cure, so if you basically keep injecting yourself with Zombrex, you won't turn into a zombie. And so I was like, is that what's going on with this girl? Like, she just keeps vaccinating herself.
It made me think very like Resident Evil.
Yeah,
too,
totally.
With
Exactly.
The anti-serum. It seemed like this was a concept that we've seen a lot in sci-fi pictures. So the challenge of making it his own, but also having the description of she has binoculars up.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to give away any of the secrets.
Right.
So you're covering her eyes, but the infection he has spreading from down and up. It's weird to think then he has to change where his camera angles are.
I was going to say, and quite honestly, besides the wardrobe, which I think was not the greatest choice, I actually liked his Wanderer character a lot. I thought that, to me, she looked the appropriate level of sick, but she was getting better.
I actually liked that one. I thought it was good. I know he wanted more like crazy hair and crazy. She's been out, struggling. But I feel if she's somebody who has it together enough, that she's she's suppressing the virus. I feel like she'd brush her hair.
Well, that's why I didn't mind when he said that it looked too military, because I thought in most like apocalyptic kind of movies that she would eventually become military. That's the thing, is like
I thought of her as being, kind of a badass.
So, I mean, even in Walking Dead, most people look a little
military. As characters become more of the sort of leader fighter type, there is a certain military element to that. So I did not hate this character.
I think it was just the light that they had chosen for it.
Yeah, it looked
it just made it too muddy and too dark. And the bandana looked a little Axl Rose to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, okay.
The straight hair.
As I say, I'm not 100% with the wardrobe, but I liked the makeup.
We're getting musical. Iron Maiden, Axl Rose.
I mean, I wouldn't mind just like teasing her hair a little bit, just to make it look like, hey, I've been kind of living on the outside, haven't showered, that whole thing.
That's legit. That's legit. Yeah. I imagine her focus probably isn't on her own.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, she doesn't have to look ridiculous. So, but yeah, I feel like it wasn't that bad, but I feel like his creature does need a lot of work, personally. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that snaggle tooth and
it looked a little
chunky
strange.
Paint.
I'll definitely say I agree with the one tooth that was kind of taking the focus of the entire character.
It really just looked like he needed braces.
Once Patrick said that, he was like, oh, my attention goes right to that tooth. I was like, oh gosh, I can't stop looking at it. Oh, there it is. The tooth.
I wasn't even looking at the rest of his makeup. I was just like, the tooth. Yeah. The tooth. Like, it was ridiculous.
In his defense, in a post-apocalyptic world, orthodontists are hard to find.
When you're eating humans, your teeth might get jacked up a little.
Bones get in the way.
Snaggletooth is better for eating human flesh.
Yeah, I guess. Through skin.
Oh, Lord.
It doesn't even eat human flesh. It's just sick.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I just assumed.
They might. I don't know. Most of the time when people catch viruses and
they turn into zombies. Yeah,
that's true. A gnarly virus, though, if it gives you snaggletooth.
Yeah. Genes are transformed into weapons.
Yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy. Sorry, every time it's like clambering their teeth, I think of those, I guess, zombies from World War Z. That's what I think of.
Yeah.
Laura was like, nope.
Those are nuts.
Like, heck no.
Yeah.
These things are creepy. Yeah.
But luckily, he does have another chance. This is just his makeup test. And so both Ben and Evan are like, okay, good. We get another chance.
Could you imagine, though, if that was like, this is
If that was it, then this would be a very easy finale to judge, which I think is why they were like, this is part one.
Yeah. Let's split it up.
Because Nora
crushed it
out of the park.
Crushed it.
I'm sorry, Team Nora.
I know.
Yes.
So
Team
so
hashtag Team Nora.
Hashtag Team Nora.
And she was so good about making sure, she even said, I want to do the bulk of the work because I'm the one in the finale.
Yeah.
And I really want to delegate well. So she had Jasmine and Meg both do basing out the characters. And even when she was creating these multi-pieces, because her kind of fantasy dark forest world that she had a girl who was kind of more human and more vulnerable, so she had minor prosthetics, but then had this hunter tree creature that had a cowl, a chest piece, a shoulder piece. I mean, she basically created an entire
body.
Yeah. Just built the creature from the bottom up. And instead of saying, okay, go sculpt this out for me, she creates a rough sculpt of it, says, this is what I want it to look like, and then gives distinct direction.
Yeah.
You can tell she is somebody that if she was the lead makeup artist on a movie...
Thank you. That was the first thing I was thinking of, is that's what a lead makeup person is on a team.
And I think that Ben did a really good job of delegating as well. It's just they had more issues with their actual foam run than Nora's team did. And Nora also did do an exceptionally good job of delegating. And she had a very clear vision of what she wanted, and she also knew when to just trust the other artists to do what they do.
And to step away,
Yes.
literally, to walk away from something, because you could see that doubt when it was creeping in. But if she had scrapped it and started over, they would have been ruined.
Right.
Yeah, she would have gotten behind, and she would have run into some similar issues like Ben did. But because she, I want to bring up the example of when they're working basically on the epaulets of the creature character, the hunter character, Meg was also working on it, and Meg's taking a look at it, and Nora, and they're both kind of fussing with it, and Meg goes, do you mind if I just like mess with it? And she's like, nope, you're right, you should do it, I need to walk away. And that was good.
The perfect way to handle that scenario when she's starting to over sculpt almost, trying to fix it, and then another set of eyes. You're right. I know my limitations. I know mentally and emotionally invested in this creature, not to mess it up. And I just love that. It really is the perfect team, having Meg like the cheerleader, like, don't doubt yourself. You're here for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude, awesome dude.
And I know, I love that. And I love that she's just, she can be negative when she needs to be, but she also knows, like, hey, like, I know that you're a good artist. I'm not going to tell you something and go, yeah, it's good, but really it isn't. Like, that's
No. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that both Jasmine and Meg are opinionated enough and comfortable enough working with Nora that they're not afraid to say, that doesn't look so great.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And we've already seen that Nora is a very good team player. She's great
Very
when she's
much
working
so.
on, partner challenges and working with someone else. And it was really cool to see how good of a leader she is.
Yeah.
'Cause she was such a good leader with being able to delegate and, had a clear vision and able to, tell Jasmine and Meg what she needed help with, but then able to step back when she needed to. So it was really
regardless if she wins or not, she has a career as a lead makeup artist. As
no
not
doubt.
just someone working in the shop or for other, she is the point person because she's just proven time and time again she has the talent and the personality and just all the factors that make her an excellent makeup artist in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just an awesome person.
Yeah, I mean that I think that's the thing that we've all been saying about Nora all season is she just seems so pleasant to work with because she has a very positive attitude, and when things get crazy, she goes to that past stressed place where you're like, well, I just got to get it done. It's going to work out one way or another.
Yeah, the refocus up. Which is why I think Patrick loved her work so much. And she was brought out first and kind of set the bar really high.
Oh, yeah.
Because he loved everything about it. He just, little things that he threw in, the hunter, let's add a little bit more green because it looks great with the background, the lighting, and just very minor tweaks. And even said, it's perfect. I love what you're doing. Don't change too much. Because you're on a perfect path.
Yeah.
And contrasted to some of the feedback for Evan, especially, I feel like Nora is in a really good place going into part 2 of the finale. And it was so good. It was so good that
I loved how cute she was too during the filming portion, and she's like, "Did you like it? What do you think? Okay, so that looks good." Like
too much.
Which also, when you're doing that, you want to make sure the person who the project is for likes the stuff, and that you're meeting the desires of your audience. I guess.
I think that is actually something that is very unique about this challenge is they are all doing makeups to please one person.
Yes, I like that.
But they get the feedback too. Michael Westmore was
Of course,
there.
yeah,
And when
yeah.
we see that look on his face where she's like, do you like the subtlety of that?
Yes, very much.
Just that look of, you got this, girl.
And I like that it's not just for like both Michael Westmore, Mackenzie, or whoever. It's like, okay, if Patrick likes that's great, and then Mr. Westmore can just jump in and be like, hey, you should probably fix a little bit of that. That's what he does. He couldn't talk very loudly. So
that Nora was so empathetic to her model, cutting those horns to make sure that they're lightweight. She really thought all the way through of all the people that are directly involved in the makeup, the director making sure that he likes it visually, the model making sure they're comfortable in it, to actually act and not just stand on stage, but to have the flexibility.
Because if they're not comfortable in the makeup, that's going to make the makeup not perform as well.
Right. And that's exactly why I think Nora would be great to just go from literally the finale of Face Off, maybe rest for like a month, and then like literally if someone hired her right there on the spot, she could be that person that's just like she knows exactly what she needs to do as a professional.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So. She could definitely be the lead makeup artist on the set.
She's great. I mean, even the detail of having the Krylon glycerin that will bead up so it looks like sweat without actually having to spray down the actor the entire time that they're on set.
Yeah.
It makes it so much more comfortable for the people who are performing, which, again, exactly what Lauren said, makes a better performance, makes the makeup look better. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what Nora brings to the table.
I almost wonder with the screen testing and with Patrick being involved, if his input or how that finished short film turns out is going to have an effect on the final
and
choice,
the judging.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was thinking the same thing because, as I mentioned earlier, right now they're all focused on making makeups that Patrick likes. It's kind of like any time they have to do a makeup for someone who is not the judges. Because now you're dealing with, okay, as a makeup artist, what I actually have to do is cater to my client. Yes. But now you have these other eyes that are going to be looking at it and deciding who wins the competition overall. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, in my brain, I see it as if we take it into like a real life scenario that maybe like the director might like it, but you have like producers and assistant directors and whoever like that's part of it. The team has to be on board.
And so, of course, with any film, there is going to be some snags and some changes and last minute keep you on your toes situations. So are you ready, guys? Dun dun dun. Twist! Just when Evan was saying, oh, great, I'm in a good place because now I know what to fix. Surprise! You have a third character.
I saw this coming.
Script revisions. And now you have to create an entirely new character with a new script.
And when they said that, they're like, sometimes there's another thing that's introduced that the cast and the characters have to react to. So does that mean the characters that are already in their script are going to have some modifications? As well?
I'm fairly certain there has to be. There has to be because
you can't just redo what you already did.
And Face Off can't just have one twist. They have to have a
multitude
of twists.
It's just an echo of twists. But I also
think
like
a 50 sock hop twist all over the place.
No, but I feel like at the same time, this was way too easy. Face Off finale. So I was like, there's gotta be something. But at the same time,
here you go. You get to try out your makeup before it gets judged.
Just redo it. Fix it.
Here we go. But at the same time, it is very lifelike scenario of like, hey, the director decided, let's just change the whole script. Enjoy. Crap. So I think it's gonna be interesting, but at the same time, holy crap, that's a whole new character.
That's intense, which is awesome because I think we were all kind of thinking, well, we're seeing the preview of what's going to be next episode, so now we're basically just getting what we saw when Scott was eliminated. You guys get a second chance at your makeups. How are they going to make that into a whole new episode that is the finale episode? Well, they did it. They did it well.
Face Off knows how to throw them twists in there.
They do. That is definitely a big twist.
This is like but it's the same sort of thing that happened in the season 8 episode 1 premiere, where at the end of the episode they're like, oh, we're not gonna do a judging on your makeup, and also you have to make one more makeup. So
get to work. Face Off.
I'm actually impressed that they get to use the makeups that they did the screen test for. I thought they were gonna be like, oh, you got a totally new script now.
Joke's on you. We're switching your scripts around.
Yep.
I feel like they don't have enough time.
No. At the same time, though, I think having to do it for 2 characters, yes, a whole third other person makes a big difference, but they're able to kind of, I think, be able to plan out how to use their time better.
Yeah.
That was a big thing, is the time management of it.
Yep.
Yeah, because especially with Ben and Evan, they have to completely fix the stuff that they already did, plus do a whole different character that has to be kind of cohesive with the 2 that they already kind of need to work on. It's going to be nuts.
Yep. Which could potentially help them by throwing in that third character. Could make it more cohesive.
Or could make it worse.
Or it could be a big fiery disaster, and they use that to light bins.
So, all right, here we go. Firewood for you.
Could go either way. Going into the finale, do you guys have some front runners, some predictions, if you will?
Yeah.
Your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Okay, so Team Nora is obviously coming into the finale very, very strong. Mm-hmm. I do still feel like Nora is poised to win. However, I think Ben has a chance because Ben has such strong artists on his team. He was very smart in the way he delegated the work that they were doing. You know, Jordan is such a good fabricator that he had him working on more of the fabrication elements, like the chest plate pieces and things like that. And he had Scott doing a lot of the sculpting. He and Scott focused on the sculpting for, the faces and the cowls, which was really, really smart. And I really think that Ben just has a little tweaking to do. And now that he's been through the disasters that he encountered with the actual running of the foam to create the prosthetic pieces for these characters, those are made.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
He doesn't have to do that again. So I still think Nora's gonna win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ben did.
Yeah, I have to be on the same boat as you. I think Nora could take it home from here, but I feel like we also can't rule it out because, something could happen. And Ben can
Twist.
just, like... Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Ben could just, like, swoop in there and be like, mine. But, yeah,
What would you be like again?
Mine. But, no, I feel like anything can happen, but I do have strong feelings that Nora's going to be top.
I feel pretty confident about Nora as well. And a part of me wonders if with the other folks helping out on their team, if they're going to be like, and the last hour, you have to do it all by yourself.
Oh, no.
Or like some other like high stakes twist.
But because we've
hope
seen
not.
in previous seasons, there have been
not
people
either.
who have gone to the finale and their team has done the majority of the work
Yeah.
and have had the majority of the ideas. I think Nora is the only one so far that we've seen just have complete creative control over every element.
Yeah.
Which is why I think we're all kind of on the same team, which is
Well, hers
hashtag
just
Team
all
Nora.
went-
Team Nora.
It all just went so much more smoothly, and we've seen the whole season. She's been so consistent.
Yeah.
You know?
She really has. Yeah. My vote really is for Nora. The thing is, I feel like Face Off always does this to us, though, where they're like, this team
Rug
looks
out from
like
under your
it's
feet.
obviously gonna win, and then all of a sudden it's just the team that was not doing great just comes out from behind.
If Ben or Nora win, I'll be
Okay.
really happy.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
Yeah, I agree.
It's cool.
Not that
this is like the first
Yeah,
time
not that I don't
everybody going
like
to
Evan,
Evan.
but I like what I've seen from Ben and Nora more.
I agree.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, not to say that you're not a great artist. 'cause
No,
we think
he's
everybody's
so
a great
talented.
artist.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's a reason that he's made it so far.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There's just something about certain things that we've seen in makeup wise that Nora seems like a stronger character.
And
not
props to
really character.
Patrick for
Human.
directing 3 short films and then getting married.
Seriously.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
3 short planning out 3 shorts and a wedding.
Whoa.
You guys are on
You're
it.
the real MVP.
So we are super excited about the finale.
Yeah.
Seeing part 2. I know. It's a bittersweet show next week. So hopefully you guys will join us. We love hearing from you guys. Tweet us. Let us know who you think is going to be rocking out the #1 spot in this finale next week in part 2. And in the meantime, where can we find you guys on the interwebs?
Well, you can find me at Emma Fyffe. That's my name. You can also find me on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzzTV.com. Just follow me on Twitter, guys. I tweet a lot. I talk about everything that I'm doing.
Yeah. And y'all can find me at Lauren Salaun. That's LaurenSalaun on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, everywhere.
Yeah, you guys should see Lauren's videos. They're kind of awesome.
Oh, gosh.
Amazing. Makeup is amazing. You can find me all over social media as Torres890. I'm also doing a lot of shows here on AfterBuzz. I can't name them all because we'll be here all
There's
night.
a lot.
But please follow me there. I'm also doing my 100th vlog that's coming up in a few weeks, please, and where I'm going to be doing a Q&A and maybe like a cute little video as well. That's another hashtag to throw at you is AskATorres890.
Nice. And I'm Alana Jordan. You can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan, ALANA, spell it like Alana to mess with you. And on Instagram at That Alana Jordan Girl. And of course, you can always tweet at all of us, or just in general using that hashtag ABTV Faceoff. We'll see it, we'll like it, we may even retweet it. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.